I love watching these moments as an American, as a journalist, as somebody who likes history, to see them all mingling. Let's listen to what's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the United States, the Honorable Michael R. Pence and Mrs. Karen Pence.
Bipartisan applause there for the outgoing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wife, the Second Lady. Obviously some appreciation that they are abiding by norms and basic protocols and basic decency by attending and being part of this transfer of power. There you see former President George W. Bush, who knows Mike Pence from when Mike Pence was in the House of Representatives before he went back to Indiana to run for governor.
That's right. He was a member of the leadership. But just looking at Mike Pence there you see him greeting the Obamas as well. Looking at him 2 weeks ago today, he was in there doing his constitutional duty. And a mob, inspired by the man who picked him for vice president, was trying to break in, was right where he is, to get into the Capitol. Some of them were screaming, "Hang Mike Pence."
And there was literally a gallows that one of them or some of them had fashioned outside the Capitol with a noose.
Exactly. And talk about what you said earlier, Jake, a celebration of democracy, the fact that here we are 2 weeks later to the day, and there he is doing his duty, not constitutionally this time, but as an American, as somebody who respects protocol. He is there, as opposed to being at the Andrews Air Force Base send-off this morning.
And for what it's worth, I mean, given his role in the last several months, he has played a role in where we are in terms of what happened 2 weeks ago. But for what it's worth, it's important that he decided to make a statement about the transfer of power here and about being a part of this process and being a part of this ceremony, which has become sacred in this country, at least in the last century, where we've had this kind of marking of the passing of the baton from one administration to the next. And what's always fun and nice to see in moments like this is you see the former presidents and even members of Congress that they've known throughout their political lives greeting each other and seeing each other, in some cases for the first time in a long time. I mean, these are not people who see each other all the time. They're elbow bumping. Maybe they're from different political parties, but that's part of the experience here. Even in socially distanced COVID times, you see there's Steve Scalise, and you see, I think that is Donna Brazile in the background there, but there's people who rarely see each other coming together today and actually enjoying this moment of brief bipartisanship before things start again in Washington tomorrow.
Yeah, not to be too cold about it, but often these former presidents only see each other at inaugurations and at funerals.
Yeah.
The pictures I have in my mind of George W. Bush and the Obamas, really he hangs out more with Michelle than he does with Barack, are from the John McCain funeral and then from the George H.W. Bush funeral. But that is reassuring for Americans to see that individuals who battled fiercely in an election or oppose each other in terms of policies can come together to celebrate the country together, to be human with one another because of their commitment to the United States and the ideals that this nation aspires to.
And they can even become friends. You know, George W. Bush and Michelle Obama have actually developed a friendship. And as David Axelrod said earlier, when Barack Obama was running for president, he was not particularly kind to his predecessor. He was basically running against the Bush legacy, but there was kindness in the turnover between administrations. And when Barack Obama turned the White House over to Donald Trump.
A-Rod?
A-Rod.
That's A-Rod.
A-Rod. J-Lo is going to be performing a little bit later. So
by the way, Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez. It's like they're our best friends, but go ahead.
But you know, when Barack Obama turned the White House over to Donald Trump, you know, he said in his letter that he wanted to be as helpful to the Trumps as possible, and I believe he meant it, and I think Donald Trump believed he meant it because he cherished that letter in a lot of ways. They never took him up on that offer, but that is the tradition that we are supposed to be celebrating today. It's the tradition that is represented by what we're seeing on the screen here right now.
You see Barack Obama being friendly, saying hi to a bunch of people.
I'm wondering if he's going to walk over to Mike Pence, because we were noticing that Mike Pence was kind of
they were sort of nodding to each
standing
other.
alone. You know, we'll see what happens. But oh, there he is in the background. Maybe not.